As Obama's time in office comes to an end, some congressmen and women are criticizing how he gave monument status to millions of acres in the West. One America's John Hines has more on the backlash his actions have created.
For more than a century, presidents have used the Antiquities Act to protect and preserve certain public lands deemed to have special significance. Now, though, several GOP senators think the act has been abused by President Obama and used to sidestep Congress and create sweeping conservation areas despite local opposition.
What has happened under the 8 years of the Obama administration in terms of use of the Antiquities Act has quite honestly been unprecedented and, in my view, an abuse of the Antiquities Act. And the actions within this administration have been to effectively put into monument status more area than the past 18 presidents combined.
And that unprecedented use of a century-old law has led Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski, in her role as chairman of the Committee on Energy and Natural Resources, to try to keep future presidents from arbitrarily using monument status to federalize large tracts of land and ocean.
So I have stepped in, along with 25 other Senate colleagues, to say we have to reform and improve the Monuments Act, and that's what our legislation does. What it does is it requires that there be public input. It requires that there be support from the members of Congress whose areas are impacted, or if it is an area offshore, it would be those states that are impacted. The legislatures would have to weigh in.
And having local input and congressional support may limit the monument designation process to its original purpose, which was to only designate specific landmarks and nearby acreage, says George Landreth of Frontiers of Freedom.
They've used an old statute, antiquities statute, that I think is being misused, because as I understand the statute and the way I've read the statute is it was given this power to a president to designate small parcels of land that were of significance to the nation as a whole.
The act to tighten up the monument designation process has just been introduced, but already has more than 24 co-sponsors. Much of that support comes following the designation of the Bears Ears Monument in Utah, which has faced widespread opposition. John Hines, One America News, Washington.